The Patriots are one of the most important teams in the NFL heading into the 2024 NFL Draft, which I will say is quite the switch up from what I've been used to my entire life. The headlines at every draft are usually about quarterbacks, and New England doesn't just desperately need a quarterback, but they have the third overall pick too. It's a good class with some big names, and it's time to see if the Pats can truly figure out life post Tom Brady after trading away Mac Jones. It's never easy to hit on a quarterback at the draft, but they need to. The Patriots have really struggled to find a consistent, good starting quarterback since Tom Brady. They never really had a plan for a successor, especially after they traded away Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's a big reason why they've struggled these last few years. So the Patriots have the third overall pick at the 2024 NFL Draft, which puts them right behind two teams, the Bears and the Commanders. Both have needs at quarterback. The clear and obvious choice at number one for Chicago is Caleb Williams. I think it's easy to go ahead and pencil him in at one. The biggest question then for New England is who Washington wants. It doesn't matter if the Patriots prefer Drake May over Jaden Daniels or vice versa. It could even be JJ McCarthy. It just doesn't matter. The Commanders essentially hold the Patriots' future in their hands with whoever they want it to. Now, that's never the ideal spot to be in, but if there's a draft that you wouldn't really mind that being the case too much, it's probably this one. However, there is always another option, to trade down. The Patriots director of scouting, Elliott Wolf, said that the team is open to business to trade the third overall pick for the right price. With that being said, he also said the Patriots would be comfortable taking a quarterback at 3 in a unique class. It's really just what they think is the best pick for the future. They feel like they have a lot of holes to fill at the draft, and the more picks you have, the more you can address. But with just how good this quarterback class is, it might be a mistake to not take a swing on a very talented quarterback prospect. That seems like it would be the best option for the team's future. New England has 8 picks at the draft, including early picks in each round during the first 2 days. Then they have a pick in every round after 2, plus 2 picks in the 6th round. There's also the option to trade down and either take a different quarterback late in the first round like McCarthy, or just wait to take a Michael Penix or Bo Nix on day 2. They could even just take a massive swing on a guy like Spencer Rattler or Joe Milton, although I don't really see that happening. Watching the NFL draft in the Bill Belichick era was brutal. The Patriots always liked to trade back despite the talent available, and that was always frustrating as hell. But now we get to see how this new regime likes to run things. For the love of God, please let it be different. Regardless of who or if the Patriots take a young quarterback, I'd be willing to bet that the starter in week 1 is still going to be Jacoby Brissett. He signed a 1-year deal with the Pats in the offseason, and he's quite the familiar face. Brissett was a 2016 third rounder and started 2 games as a rookie after Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt the season Tom Brady got suspended for Deflategate. He ended up getting traded to the Colts for Philip Dorsett after an injury to Andrew Luck, and he started in 2017 and then in 2019 after Luck surprisingly retired. Brissett started a bit for the Dolphins in 2021 and then the Browns in 2022 before backing up Sam Howell in Washington this past season. He can absolutely start for the Pats if needed, and willing to bet that he will. He started 48 games in his career and has better than a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio all time. At the very least, he'll be a good veteran presence for whichever quarterback New England ends up taking. Bailey Zappi is still in Foxborough too. The 2022 4th rounder has started 8 games for the Pats and has 11 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Now, I know there was a moment there where we joked about him being the future, but I can assure you that he's not. The only other quarterback on the roster ahead of the draft is Nathan Rourke, who you might remember from the preseason with the Jaguars last season when he made some wild plays. We actually made a TikTok on him if you guys want to check that out, link down in the description. He seems like a good practice squad candidate at the very least, but nothing more. Regardless, it'll be a bit of a different look in New England without Mac Jones around anymore. They used the 15th overall pick on him in 2021, and he started 42 games over 3 seasons with 75 touchdowns to 36 interceptions. But now, he's simply a backup. He was sent to his hometown Jacksonville for a 6th round pick. I liked Mac Jones a lot. I mean, I even bought his jersey, dog. I got the jersey on still. This wasn't cheap. He showed a ton of promise, and at one point, he looked like he could be the future in New England, but that didn't last. No more Mac Jones in New England really represents a new era for the Patriots, and that's certainly not the only big change. Tom Brady moved on to the Buccaneers in 2020, and of course, went on to win his 7th Super Bowl ring. The Pats then had to refigure out quarterback, a position that they had tied up for so long. There was the 1 year of Cam Newton before Mac Jones Jones got the call, and he did make the postseason as a rookie, but it's the only time the Pats made it post Brady, and they got blown out by the Bills. Post Tom Brady has not been pretty, and now we get to see what life is like post Bill Belichick. 6 Super Bowls and one of, if not the greatest histories in NFL history, and it's all over. It's a new era in New England. Well, kinda. The Patriots didn't exactly hit the open market to look for a new young head coach. Belichick was succeeded by Gerard Mayo. He was on that Patriots team that beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl when Malcolm Butler picked off the ball at the goal line. He played for the Pats his entire NFL career and then became the inside linebackers coach before now becoming the guy in charge. He definitely benefited as a player having a Hall of Fame quarterback on the opposite side of the field from him, but now he's tasked with finding the new future quarterback of the franchise. That big decision will come with plenty of other important people though, most notably Elliott Wolf, who is the de facto general manager, at least for now. If the Patriots do end up going quarterback at 3, I really hope it ends up being Jaden Daniels, to be honest. He's a guy with a ton of upside, and New England needs a fresh start at quarterback, and he'd have the perfect skill set for that. He'd definitely be a very different quarterback compared to Mac Jones, but if he needs to, Jaden can have the luxury to sit behind Jacoby Brissett for a month or two before eventually taking over. I want to keep the pick and take a swing at quarterback, but if we could somehow land a number 1 wide receiver and another first-round pick like the Bears did last year for Bryce Young, I would be pretty open to trading out. But there's a big difference between number 1 and number 3, even if this is a stacked quarterback class. Ultimately, I don't think this roster is good enough right now, no matter who's behind center. Maybe a trade is better in the long run, and you take a guy like Michael Penix day 2. The draft is just so hard to predict, and who knows what the Patriots really want to do at this point. But luckily, they do have a high pick in a really good quarterback draft, but they're essentially at the mercy of Chicago and Washington. At the end of the day, the Patriots are going to end up with the guy that those two don't want. Let's just hope that it ends up being the right guy. I do think the Patriots will ultimately go quarterback, and everything else we've been hearing is kind of just smokescreen stuff. But the question then becomes, is a new young quarterback actually going to be set up to succeed in New England? If the season started today, the Patriots' number 1 wide receiver would be Kendrick Bourne. Now, I've seen a lot of hate on this man, and I just want to say, I love this dude. He's been consistent, and I've enjoyed watching him play. But him as a number 1 wide receiver isn't exactly an ideal situation. Demario Douglas had over 500 yards last year and should hopefully have an increased role on the offense this year. He was electric and just felt like he had so much upside. New England did go on to sign former Vikings wide receiver KJ Osborne as well, who I am excited to see, but I'm not really too sure how much he's actually going to contribute. I'd be willing to bet that he takes on the Devontae Parker role as our wide receiver 2/3. The Patriots still have red zone threat Hunter Henry at tight end. Ramondre Stevenson is still going to be the lead back, and the Patriots signed Antonio Gibson from Washington. So a lot of returners, but also a couple new guys sprinkled in there. But when you look at the offense, there are clear holes, especially at wide receiver. It's the position group that's been super weak for a long time, and even dating back to when Tom Brady was still there. And guess what? It's still an issue. Not re-signing Jacoby Myers was a massive miss that really stings. I loved that guy. He was super reliable in New England, and now he's had a ton of success in Las Vegas playing across-side Devontae Adams. The Patriots offense is just weak, probably one of the worst units this team has had this century, and that's not going to help develop a young quarterback. Luckily, the defense should be good again, and that can help drag the team to a couple of wins, but quarterback development should be priority number 1. And a lot of that is gonna fall on Alex Van Pelt, the new offensive coordinator. He played quarterback in the league and has been a quarterback's coach for the Bills, Buccaneers, Packers, Bengals, and Browns, where he was then the offensive coordinator. He was fired by Cleveland in January, but it really only took him 2 weeks to find a new job in New England. New offensive coordinator, new head coach, and likely a new quarterback. This is a fresh start for the New England Patriots. Everything is going to look different. And now, the Patriots need to make the right decision at the draft, because as of now, it doesn't really look like they're going to be returning to be contenders anytime soon.